over this is between 2 years and up to 20 years. No, I'm not trying to talk you into doing anything today. If you think you didn't do this or you didn't do this, then go to trial. If you've looked at the information with Ms. Perazo and there's evidence that you did what they're saying you did. Okay. All right, Mr. Kane, you had an opportunity to visit with Ms. Perazo. So what do you want to do? Do you want to go to trial or do you want to enter a plea of guilty for the agreement that they've offered you?
I have already spoken with the prosecutor, but I was talking to you and I just need you to make a decision. I don't know what else to tell you. Other than what I told you.
So Ms. Perazo, it sounds like she's told you everything that she has discussed with Mr. Nichols. The offer is what the offer is. Either you take it or you leave it. It doesn't matter. If you're not guilty, that's what juries are for. If you want to take the deal, then you take the deal today.
I understand what you're saying. But I don't feel like, you know what I'm saying, that I'm seeing a verdict now.
Okay. Then let a jury decide what to do. Okay. So, I mean, the offer is what the offer is, right, Mr. Nichols? So it's either the 5 years and you plead guilty, or you let a jury decide if you're guilty or not. And then if they find you guilty, you can leave your punishment up to them. If you are found guilty, the range of punishment, and I know Ms. Perazo's gone over this, is between 2 years and up to 20 years. No, I'm not trying to talk you into doing anything today. If you think you didn't do this or you didn't do this, then go to trial. If you've looked at the information with Ms. Perazo and there's evidence that you did what they're saying you did, then you need to think about taking a deal. That's it. No one is trying to talk you into anything. The deal's not going to change.
Are you aware of my next court date, the next trial date?
No, I don't know when the trial date will be right now. It'll be whenever the next available trial date is. We are not backed up on trials in this court, so it will get taken care of as quickly as we can.
I'll be able to actually coming back to fight the case whether I sit the whole entire 5 years out or not?
No. Either you take a deal and you plead guilty and you do the 5 years or however much of it you have to do and then get paroled out, or you let a jury decide. You don't get to change your mind later. If you plead guilty today,
I mean, expungement from my record.
no, if you plead guilty and you get if you plead guilty,
That's not a job. That's what it's really about.
if you either plead guilty today or if you get found guilty by a jury, you will have a felony conviction on your record. Felony convictions are not allowed to be expunged. The only way something gets expunged off your record is if the state dismisses it and said, oops, we had the wrong person. It was just a wrong arrest. So, or if a jury says he did not do it and they find you not guilty.
So I'll work in case with whether I plead guilty or not. You know what I'm saying? To come back after and be able to fight the case.
Come back after what?
After serving the time on.
No, absolutely not. When the case is over, the case is over. Either you plead guilty and you're found guilty, or you go to a jury, and when the jury's done, it's either not guilty, and you go on about your life, or it's guilty, and they give you some amount of time in prison, and the case is over, no matter what happens. You don't get to come back later, and I mean, there's appeals and things like that, but you're not going to come back to court and try to fight something. You understand?
You can elaborate.
Huh?
You can elaborate.
Well, I'm not sure how much more to elaborate because I feel like I've explained it. I have no doubt that Ms. Perazo has explained it. What part of this do you not understand?
Well, first I asked, would I be eligible to actually be out time served parole?
And I already explained to you about parole, right? We already had that conversation a minute ago.
I was attempting to see if the prosecutor would actually said it was out for parole. I didn't know.
He has nothing to do. None of us have anything to do. Listen to my words, because I already said this. None of us have anything to do with parole. You go to prison and we're done. I'm done with your case. Mr. Nichols is done. Ms. Perazo's done. You get your 5 years. They determine when your parole eligibility is. They determine how you behaved and whether or not you get paroled when you come up for that eligibility, which we already talked about. None of us can tell you that. You could, if you go and act up in prison, do the whole 5 years. You could make eligibility the very first time you come up if you get in there and do right. I can't know that because I don't know how you're going to act when you get in prison.
I mean, it's not really me as far as the case goes. Me actually getting caught up in a problem and fighting back was me like trespassing to me. Whatnot.
They've charged you with assault on a peace officer. Either you plead guilty to that or you go to trial.
The initial arrest was camping.
Listen
That's
to me.
why I feel like 5 years was like,
It doesn't matter if you feel like it's too harsh. Doesn't matter. That's what the state thinks the case is worth. That's what he's offered. And when he goes to trial, if he proves that you guilty, he's going to ask the jury for at least that or more. And then it'll be up to the jury to decide.
I mean, I'm really only asking questions because
I don't mind answering your questions. Here's the thing. I think you're playing games. Stop. Everything that could possibly be explained to you about your situation at this point has been explained. Everything. So we're done with asking questions. I'm going to ask you one more question and I need an answer. Do you want to take the 5 years or do you want to go to trial? And while you're thinking on that, I'm also taking judicial notice of the court's file. Mr. Kane was previously examined by Dr. Capon, who found that he had no issues with regard to competency to stand trial. So I've already made that finding, but I just want to make sure for the record that there was no issues with regard to that. So, Mr. Kane, what do you want to do? It's time for you to answer. What?
That's why I'm really, it's a life decision right now. You know what
I
I'm
know,
saying?
it is. It's a big decision. I'm not saying it's not, and I'm not trying to talk you into anything. I'm really not. It's just the decision is what it is.
I understand that. It's a good decision. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
You could bring the way it goes.
You're absolutely right. I'm willing to do this, Mr. Kane. I'm willing to give you 2 weeks to think about it. But nothing's going to change as far as the offer. But I'll let you think about it. If you have any family you want to contact and talk about it, I'll give you a couple of weeks to do that. Do you want to do that or do you want to make the decision today?
My family came to visitation. That's why I was trying to see if I was there to get out. I actually had a house in Russia and all that.
Did you hear my question?
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Okay. Do you want me to you want to take 2 weeks to make this decision or are you going to make it now? Nothing's changing though. You're going to be right back in front of me in 2 weeks and you're going to come out. We're not going to answer. I'm not going through all this again. Everything's been explained, but I will give you some time to think about it if you want. Sir? I'm sorry. You are? Okay. Thank you for being here. Is there something that you want to talk to you want to visit with him?
Paperwork with the housing loss. I wouldn't attempt to miss that point. That's really what it was.
None of that matters right now. You're in jail. You're looking at possibly going to prison. So you need to focus on where you are now and what your decisions are now.
So I wouldn't be capable of doing a parole hearing.
Parole has to do, I don't know if you're confusing some terms maybe. Parole has to do once you're sentenced to prison. Okay? If you're talking about a bond, like the bond that's set on you right now, whether or not that can be lowered, that's for a different day if Ms. Barrazo files something for me to try to reduce your bond. But I want you to understand Nothing about this offer or what your decision is going to change. Whether you're in custody, out of custody, make appointments, none of that is going to change. All right, go back with the bailiff. I'm resetting your case 2 weeks. I've got too much to take care of.
A tense courtroom exchange turns emotional when a judge loses patience with a defendant who refuses to make a final decision about his future. Facing a serious charge of assault on a peace officer, Mr. Kane is offered a plea deal of 5 years in prison. But if he rejects it and loses at trial, he could face up to 20 years behind bars. Throughout the hearing, the defendant repeatedly asks about parole, appeals, and whether he can fight the case later. But the judge makes one thing crystal clear. Once the case is over, there are no second chances. As the courtroom tension rises, the judge accuses him of playing games and demands a direct answer: take the deal or go to trial. The dramatic moment becomes even more intense when the judge reveals that the defendant was already evaluated and found mentally competent to stand trial. Still unable to decide, Mr. Kane is finally given 2 more weeks to think about the life-changing choice. This courtroom showdown is packed with pressure, emotion, and hard truths that could change one man's life forever.